What's up, world? Okay, I'm doing a mod. I'm gonna try to do a fast mod. Fastest mods ever. Try to do this all the time and I fail because I try to do too much. So I'm gonna do just the bare minimum if my screen will work. Come on. Come on. Work. Of course it won't work. It might work. Who knows? Who knows if it'll work? Where am I going? I'm going to some model rips. I found some Yoruichi, Ryuko, Nightmare, Bigger, blah, blah, blah. Bleach, Awakened. What is this format? So this format, oh look, it's a blend file. Perfect. XPS. Maybe I should just open the blend file. How about I don't open the blend file, but I try to append it. Yeah, I mean, append. Bam, bam. See what we got in here. So we got collections. We got XPS. I'll just grab that. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got our character here. Let's hide her bones. Oh, whoa, she's mad. She's a mad girl. Oh man, look at these. These graphics suck. But you know what? Who cares? I don't care. That's not what we're doing today. Today we're just making a mod, right? Easy peasy. Let me look at her bone setup. Let's see. So let's look at this. Like, is she in pieces and stuff? So hide with H. Oh, look at that. She's all in pieces. All right, nice. Whatever. So let's grab all the pieces like so. Hit H. Yep, we got them all. Thanks for her head. And then we're gonna be like, oops, not go there. Go to edit mode, right? Oh, all these are selected. Um, let's join all this stuff together. All right, so we're gonna go in here, and I'm just gonna click on the body, and then I'm gonna hit join. Look at that, all one piece. Nice. Let's go to edit, and now let's stitch everything together as best we can. So let's go select boundary loops, and I don't even know why some of this stuff is not connected. Uh, yeah, so let's do that. Mesh, clean up, merge by distance. And now if I select by loops, all right, we should just have the edges. All right, nice. We have these weird seam lines for whatever reasons. I don't know what they're for, but I don't care. I'm gonna go ahead and yeet them for seams. Nice. I'm also going to, I was gonna, I'm not gonna really do a lot of changes to it. So let's just hit Alt N average normals, and there that gives us some of our normal stuff back, but it's still not like super clean. What I probably could have did is like saved the normal data and then transfer it to the over, but I don't feel like doing that. Let's see if I can do. Let's select everything. Then we'll go into edit mode, and then we're gonna go to faces, tries to quads. We'll make sure we keep compare UVs on, compare seam on, and compare materials. All right, cool. And we'll hit Alt N again for average face area, which I don't know if I'm gonna regret this for the hair, so we'll see in a second. And it looks like the hair's, I don't like what it did to the hair, so I'm gonna hit Alt N, and I'll go back out of it. Let's take a look at these eyes and stuff. How's it set up? All right, so it's just, I don't know how to animate this stuff. If I set origin to geometry, is it animatable? I mean, I guess it could sort of be, or it's, where's the eye? Like, are these even working? These don't even seem to be working. They don't even work. All right, whatever. Who cares then? All right, let's hide that. Oh, nope, let's not hide it. We're gonna go unhide it real quick. Hit A. And then I'm gonna Control A, all transform, so everything is stuck there. And then I'm going to clear the parent, right? And then I'm just gonna eat these bones out of here. Goodbye, bones. See what they are. All right. Nice. I think I'm going to change some stuff with the shaders. Okay, but we'll do that later. Let's just get it rigged. Yeah, means. Yeah, means. All right, nice. So, let's see what we got working with. Let's go ahead and use our asset browser. And I'll grab my female. Female base match. We'll drop it in. Whoa, she's huge. That's cool. So we're going to go ahead and set her to 0. And I've got her default to like Eve's proportions for whatever reason. I don't remember. And we're just going to turn those off. So now she's back to base proportions. And I'm going to leave her underwears on for now. I did clear all the... I need to go back and fix this situation. So we're going to go U frame selected. All right. Nice. All right, so I got rid of her armature, which is either a good or bad thing. Who knows? Who cares? But I'm going to go into here, and we're just going to call this Yoruichi body. And then we're going to hide that. And then I'm going to grab all of this. And we're going to grab the face, and we're going to join it. All right, so that's all one piece. For now, everything should be fine. And I'm just going to call this one Yoruichi head. All right, nice. And I think what I am gonna do real quick though is this. So I'm gonna go into edit mode. With A, I'm gonna select all. Right click, mark. Oh, select loops. Select loops, boundary loops, and then hit mark seam. And then I'm gonna join these back together. All right, so I'm joining those back together. So now when I go here and I select them, and I want to select by seam, like this, like I know those are absolutely apart. All right, cool. So, because I'm gonna join these, so I'm gonna hit L and select oops. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean up, merge by distance, and there we go. They're joined together, and I want to get rid of those seams, except for these ones. I want to keep those, but not these. All right. All right. Oh my goodness, so many more seams. Clear seams. All right, nice. Okay, so we got our body all together. I'm gonna go ahead and use a armature real quick. Armature humans. And yep. All right, nice. And let's go ahead and size it real quick. Let's set it to what do I want to do? Viewport display and hey, stop it in front. There we go. Let's turn off that. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of get it positioned. Right, nice. And let's just grab this stuff and bring it down to about there. And let's turn on X mirror. We'll put this about here. And here. And here. We'll put our knee. And we'll put this like this. Get our heel right where we're supposed to be. Drop that down. And that's fine. Oh, all right. Nice. Okay. Cool. And we'll bring this back a little bit. Now we're not really rigging this for like use. I'm just rigging this for position, so I'm not being like super accurate with my stuff. Let me go ahead and hide her for a second. All right. I want this bone and this bone and this bone, but I'm gonna hide the other ones. And I don't need a face bone because I'm not doing face stuff right now. And let's make sure we select all of it and then eat it. Goodbye. Alt H to bring it back. Now let's just position these bones real quick. So this bone usually goes about chin level. This bone will go at about the jaw joint. Usually. Alright, cool. Nice. Oops, not you. Nice. Let's go ahead and control all transforms so it fits. Oh, I gotta fix this section. Oh, what is her underwear piece? Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and move the elbow into there. Let's move shoulder piece into shoulder, and then we'll move this down there, and let's get it rigged for the hand. So the hand rig is pretty simple. We're just going to go to volume, and I'm gonna hit G with the snapping on to put this right in the centerpiece. I'm gonna put this usually about mid between the center of the hand and the fingers, so about there. These I'll put, you know, like along their finger line. Thumb goes back to about here. Oops. Thumb joint. Thumb joint. Thumb. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. All right. So this is going to be the knuckle, which goes in the fat area. And I think I might have to go handle some family stuff in a quick second. All right. I'll be back. Oh man, little kids, they do not like listening to their parents. All right, but whatever. All right, let's go here and here. Hey, zoom like that. I feel like it's not working. All right, there we go. And since this particular, all right, there we go. Look at that. So we got it nice and rigged to the hand. Right there, like that. And go ahead and hit G to center that in that bone. A little bit easier. Do the same thing here with the knee. The rest of this is fine. Fine, 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 fine. Okay, cool. So I'll hit A, control A, all transforms, and let's go ahead and I'm just gonna go ahead and yeet all of our existing bone stuff. Delete all groups, good on. And because it's one solid mesh down here, I shouldn't have any issue with this weight painting. So we'll do parent automatic weights. And I'm getting a bone heat failed issue for some reason. Let's try this again. A control all transforms. Boom, boom. Parents, automatic weights. Okay, so it's not working. So sometimes this happens and it's annoying, but she is rigged, or at least parented to it. So let's go ahead and make her bigger, because sometimes that's the issue. So let's get the size of our stuff here. And we'll go ahead and, oops, we'll scale her up. So she's about the same size. I'll probably make it a little bit more exact in a moment, but we're gonna hit A, Control A, all transforms. Let's see if it works now. See, parent, automatic weights. Okay, it's still not working. All right, let's try adding a solidify mod or not, or a subdivision. Sometimes that helps. So we'll do a subdivision, which might be a little bit intense because it's the whole body. There we go. Let's try this again. Parent, automatic weights. And it looks like it worked. All right, cool. So if I hit Control Tab, I can go right into there and move stuff around. Now I can also turn off this subdivision as well, because it's just going to make things harder to move. But I can get here and be like, boom. Right? Nice. All right. Cool. So there's a bunch of ways that I can go about doing this now. I can go about just like sizing her, moving her around and stuff. Pose wise that way, but I'm gonna do it another way that I've been doing it. Let me grab a head for her. There's a head. And I'm just using this as a reference. I'm not really using this head right now. 0. And I'm going to join it to this. Well, before I do that, I'm going to delete these because I like to bring this in. Oops. I like to make sure that it's set as append versus other options. Hey. What are you doing? Why are you giving me this? This bad arrow. Okay. All right. There we go. Nice. All right. My stuff broke. That's wonderful. That's all good. Now, I didn't save anything, so I'm hoping I got to save in before it crashed. But we shall see. Yo, come on, load, bro. All right. So let's go to recover, autosave today. And there we go. So we're not too far behind. All right, so before we go too far, let's go ahead and save as this. And I should have a demo folder, and we'll call this Yoruichi. Nice. Yoruichi. About Sabe. All right, how do I want to do this? Okay, yeah. So I'm going to put this and this. Hit M, put a new collection, call it Yoruichi. Okay, and I'm gonna hide that. And now I've got this and this. I'm gonna go ahead and just okay, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and apply all shape keys for both of these. Apply all shape keys for now. join. I don't know what my origin point moves, so I hit Shift C to bring it back. There we go. All right, so now I'm gonna grab this rig. I'm gonna hit Shift D. I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm put it into just the export folder here. We'll hide this again. All right, so now I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna kind of position it the way it should be. So the same thing, knees, feet. All right, oops, wait, you stop that. The shoulder stuff is fine. I'm just gonna grab these bones, move them up, up, and up. And I might make some small adjustments to here. So I think traditionally this button should go at the bottom of the lower ab. This one should go right above the belly button. And this one goes right at the top of the sternum. Put that right for the breast. We'll grab these and we'll kind of put this at this angle. All right. This one goes at the base of the neck, like right there. This one typically goes at the chin. And this one goes at the jawline. Let's go ahead and center this bone and body. So it's like that. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead into pose mode and find my bones. Go to bone groups and add a bone group. I don't care what it's called. Just gonna get a color real quick. I'll give it blue. Ooh, that's too dark. Let's give it like weird gray. All right, nice. I'm gonna go back into this meta rig real quick and hide. Oh, actually, let's add. We'll call this T8 ref. All right, we'll hide that for a second. And I'm gonna go ahead and make some minor adjustments here just to mimic what I have there. So I want this bone at the bottom of her ab. This bone right above the belly button. This bone at her rib. Those should all be generally the same. At the base of her neck, at her chin. We're just gonna center that. Okay. Nice. Oops. Let's bring this stuff back. Okay, so I'm gonna set up these. I gotta finish setting up these hands here real quick. So that should be at the elbow. All right. All right, so the same thing I did with the hands, I'm gonna do here. Let's just rotate those a little bit. Turn this off for a second. Okay. So turn. There you go. G, we'll put that there. This, like I said, will be in about the middle of the hand. This will go here. This will go at, let's do it this way. Got this joint, got this joint, and we've got that joint. belt this and this. And these will be, oops. All right, nice. Da, 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 da. Um, and the knuckle is like in this whole fatty area of the hand. Mhm. Do, 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 do. Oh. All right, check it, make sure it all looks good. And I'm not gonna weight this, because I don't care. It's not what I did this for. So, all right, nice. All right, everything is kind of where it's supposed to be. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and save. Nice. All right, so now that I have my rigs kind of set up, so I've got her actually attached to this rig, and then I've got this one. I had like a little tool that was supposed to like match everything together, but it doesn't work right now, so I'm not going to use it. I have to go ahead and rebuild it, figure out what's wrong with it. So we're just going to do this thing manually. So I'm going to select both of these rigs, hit backslash to isolate both the rigs, and then we're just going to go into pose mode, and I'm going to pose the gray one to match the green one. So I'm going to select the same bone. So this bone and this bone, hit Shift S, selection active. I feel like it's not. Okay, Shift S, so selection active. Okay, so they're already on the same. Um, so when you're dealing with, I think these bones are connected. Yes, they are. So I'm going to switch this to normal mode, and I'm going to do some uh, adjustments. So we'll do S and then Y to scale, and I'll scale this up to the spine bone. It's right there. And then this one will scale up a little bit as well. And this one will scale up as well to that bone. All right. And then this will scale down SY. Oh, all right. I don't really mess with the hips usually too often. So I don't think they're really attached to anything. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move these over. And if you use X, it will, anything that you snap over won't be mirrored, but other stuff will. So like, see if I go SX, whoop, those are mirrored. But if I snap it to another thing, it won't work. So whatever. All right, so I'm just gonna align these, and I'm using S for my scale option. And then I'm using R from these views. And I usually try to stick to the views as right, left side, like just using here until I get to the hands, and then I'm a little bit more flexible. But like here, like I want to go to the right, and I'm like, okay, I'm not even rotated correctly. Let's fix that rotation. And right now I have it so that all the uh, scales and such are, everything is inheriting from its parent. So I don't know if I'm going to keep it that way or not. We'll see. Oh, and I'm not really watching what's happening to the actual mesh just yet. Usually I'll do like this part first, and then I'll go from there. So let's see what it looks like. So I'm gonna hit this, and really what I'm looking for most of is, does she still look okay? Which she may or may not. So let's go ahead and hide this one, and I'm gonna look at her, and I'm like, yo, Yoruichi, you are skinny as fuck. So that's cool. I can make some edits to that in a little bit. But for now, I just want to get her rigged up, right? And then I'll make the changes. All right, so let's go back to what we were doing. Hit pose. And we'll move these. I don't normally move shoulders too much, but I'm going to try it today. See how it didn't move? And then you also want to be moving like along the flow of the hierarchy. R1. Oops. All right. Okay. All right. So for the most part, the body should be matched up. Hands are not matched up, but we'll look at it. And she is in need of some adjustment. So let's see what I want to do. So I've got this option, right? So this is with everything rigged up and matching like so. I'm like, okay, cool. Do I want to keep it like this, or do I want to try something different? Usually I'll go with this method first just to see if it works. But it's not really working exactly the way I wanted to, so I'm going to set current file. We'll say create a new asset. Oops, let me hit Control Z. Let me hit A. Well, let's make sure I'm clicked on the meta rig. Hit pose A. And now we'll create a new asset. And let's just rename it meta to T8 PRP. All right, so, and then I can go ahead and just clear that if I want to and bring her back to where she was. All right, so let's try something a little bit different. So we're going to pose mode. And another way that I'll go about doing this is trying to, let's make sure everything's selected and everything's fair. Okay. Is I'm going to match up the groins and then match up the torso. Okay, so that might be a better option. So let's try that. So I'm going to grab the root bone and I'm going to make, or her pelvis bone usually. And so I want to make her kind of like bigger, right? So in this case, she's a little bit bigger there. Oops, let's turn this off for a second. And I want to match up the crotch, right? And then look at the shoulders. I'm like, oh, look at that. She is pretty lined up in that regards. Her head is huge. We're going to address that. But in that situation, she's not too bad. Now I can just manually by eye kind of like do this, right? So we're going to go ahead and line up the legs and make sure the legs kind of like fit. And we're focused less on like bone position and more on just does it look right. All right, so I want to get the legs Kind of like that. Feet can sometimes be an issue, but we'll try to address that. Try to get the ankle in about the right spot. And now she has some skinny little feet. So we could try to scale her feet up a bit. Sometimes it doesn't distort too much. Sometimes it does. It's going to be to your preference. And you're just matching things up. All right, and I can make this bone a little bit shorter. Boom. All right, and that line's pretty good with the Tekken body. I'm looking at this crotch line, and I want the line of the crotch to really be the same, if at all possible. So let's see. Let's stick global real quick. I'm looking. So I might need to move her back a little bit. Okay, so let's move her back. Trying to get that whole pelvic area to kind of match as much as possible. I think that's pretty good. Then double check to see if it affected my legs at all. All right, so let's maybe move this in a little bit more. Move this back. And do we need to move the foot up or down? Not really. That's set it. Okay, cool. So the lower half of the body in this pose section is done. The over torso stuff is fine. I can make this a little bit skinnier if I want to, or bigger, or whatever. I think I get some control with her hip placement. I can move her legs out or make them bigger if I wanted to. I think I can make her. Can I make her hips a little bit wider? I can. Okay, and then some of this I can also address um, with sculpting. But I'm just going to let her be a little bit thicker because the Tekken characters are a little bit thicker than a lot of models that we get. All right, so that's pretty solid. I'm looking for the breast line to match up for both of these characters, which they are pretty solid, so I don't have to worry about it. Now her stomach is way further in, which is no big deal. Her back is looking like it's lined up. The shoulders are a big thing where the shoulders sit, so you can see her shoulders are back. We're gonna want her shoulders forward a little bit. So let's go back into pose mode. And usually I'll start with the shoulder bone first if I can. Let's switch this to this mode. Oh my goodness. Let's set this to not in front. Let's hide this rig. All right. So sometimes when it's a little bit messy, I'll just switch to the actual gizmo. So click here, click on this, and I just want to rotate it a little bit on the Z axis. I'm just trying to match those up. That looks pretty good. Let's see for her arm. Her arm, it looks like it's pretty good there, but let's change the angle. And in this case, I'm looking for the shape. So I want this type of bend to match the bend of the Tekken characters. So we're gonna hit S and Y to kind of get that to the right spot. Up a little bit. There you go. There you go. Okay, so now we've got the hand, and we want to get this part of the wrists to match. So hit SY, make it a little bit longer. Now the hands are a lot bigger. We'll try to fix that as well. Let's go ahead and rotate this. I'm going to hit R instead of using just the view. I'm going to use R and then X so I can just rotate it along that axis. RX. Okay. All right, and so the hands are pretty good. I can move these again a little bit to kind of line them up, but I'm gonna do a technique similar to what I did before, where I'm gonna match this stuff match the fingers. So right now I just want to get the base of the hand pretty much in the same spot if I can. But I'm going to make some other tweaks uh, once the rest of the body is lined up. All right, cool. So there we go. Now we've got her neck area, which looks to be significantly different. Is her face like on the ground or something? Like what's going on here? Okay, so for whatever reason, her eyes are weird. So let's pause for a second. So we're going to go into edit, pose mode, A. Uh, and we're going to switch to we'll go asset, create pose asset. And we'll call this one visual. Spell visual match. All right. And I'm going to hit A and clear because I want to figure out what's going on with her eyes. Like, why are the eyes not being given weights? And so let's take a look at just the basic weight painting. So we'll click on the rig and then we'll click on this, going to, oops, we'll click on the bones, click on this, weight paint, click on the face. And so it looks like just some things have not gotten proper weights. So I'm going to just manually paint this real quick. So I'm going to set this to projected so that it goes all the way through the mesh. See? It didn't go all the way through the mesh. Let's set this to not front faces only. See. There we go. There we go. All the way through the mesh. All right, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just paint this area, kind of like this. And this is just for positioning. So at this time, I don't need to be super clean with my weights. I just don't want like face items to like not be moving when they're supposed to be moving. For her hair, we'll go ahead and make sure her hair is all together and like that. All right, and we're just gonna move her head around, see if anything lags. Let's see, I got some spots here that are cooperating. I don't know why this is like sticking in there. Oh, another thing I need to make sure I do, which I didn't set, is auto normalize. And we'll set symmetry. We'll turn it off for a second. There we go. So auto normalize makes sure that I'm not sharing weights with some other part. So one thing I don't like about this is I have to go back here. Oh, actually, I don't think I have to. Let's go back to weight pay mode. There we go. So I'm just gonna make sure that these are all done correctly. See, I like that. I want that. See, that was looking all weird. It's that. Okay. Right now, it's not gonna make a huge deal, but it's gonna make enough. All right, so let's go back and oops, back into pose mode. We'll clear that pose. We should be all good. Let's go ahead and load that pose again. And there we go. We're back here. Her eyes are on her head. And this is what she looks like. So proportions are pretty solid. You know what I mean? Everything is looking good. Everything is holding together. There's no crazy rips. Some things are a little bit off. Like looks like this area is a little bit off for some reason. Um, I can go ahead and fix that once I've got everything positioned how I want it. All right, so let's turn this. Bones for the most part are set right, but we're gonna go here. And let's turn this back to the front. And I need to get the head in the right position. All right. See what I can do with that. So let's take a look at our head and neck positioning. So we've got our shoulders here. And I'm going to move her neck a little bit forward. And now because I did that, it's going to affect like my other stuff. But I'm just going to have to deal. Let's move her S wide, bring her head down a bit. And one of the things I like to do is keep the head from really gaining the shifting information. So I'll select all three of these. Or we'll do it like this, this, and this. And I want to go down to the bone section and into relations. I'm going to switch this to none. And then I'm going to say copy to selected. So that way, whatever I just did is applied to all the ones that are selected. Now I'll go back to pose mode. One of the differences when I move this and make it bigger or smaller, it's not really going to change the proportions of the stuff above it. Because it's very easy to have a distorted head. So I just want to get this kind of where it's supposed to be. Let's see if I make the neck a little bit bigger. It's not really helping me. Let's make the head a little bit smaller, probably. And in this case, I'm really just looking at like positioning. I'm not really doing much else. All right. And I think what I'm going to also do is I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to grab this bone and turn off connected. And that will allow me to move it around a bit. So I'm just going to pull it forward. All right, let's see. It's the same with this one. You want to be kind of gentle with it. You don't want to be like too crazy with it because it might really distort stuff. All right, so her head is big. I'm gonna make her head a good bit smaller. And the heads don't have to match up exactly. I just like to keep the proportions. Now, for whatever reason you want to keep the head or you're going to use the head and you want it to like wear like outfit items, then you want to make sure the heads match so that the outfit items are all right. But that should be good. So what I want to do now is just take a look at it and see, does she still look like herself? Or does it look too crazy? And if so, is there anything I can do? So if I look at her neck right here, um, it looks like this part is not connected, and I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edit mode, and I'm going to see if I can get these sections connected. I don't know if they are meant to connect or not, but I'm going to clean up. Or let's do select boundary loops, and it looks like they're not really designed to be connected. So let's take a look at what I could possibly do. All right, because I do not want this. So one of the things I can do is just fix weighting areas right there. And I feel like her head is a little bit small. Right? Like she's got a bigger body with that. So we do want to get that head size back up. So let me fix that first. All right. I go to edit pose mode and let's just clear our head transforms. So now our head's back to normal size, but we do want to fix this area. So I'm going to go into the weights here, weight paint, and look, oops, and select these and kind of try to see what's happening. So this is the upper chest area. All of this should essentially match. So I'm going to turn on symmetry. There we go. And I want to get this section to match. And I can fix up this other part, oops, as well. For now, we'll do that. And like I said, this is mainly for matching stuff up. So I don't want to get too like I want these to match. I want these to match. This to match. So I kind of like that. I feel like I lost a little bit of my shoulder position here. So I'll move this back a little bit. Um, yeah, there we go. Nice. All right, so that's all looking pretty solid, I think. And that should give me a good weight paint whenever I do that. Um, the next thing I'm going to want to do, oops, let's get these hands a little bit better posed, slightly better posed. Oops, that pose. And I think that's a pretty good. Okay, so once I'm satisfied with that, you can go ahead and save. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and confirm these positions, right? So I'm going to uh, convert, or I'm going to just apply the modifier for the armature. Apply. Not for the subdivision, just for that. And then I'm going to go to the armature and this. I'm gonna hit Control A, all transforms. And then for the pose, I'm going to go to transfer, apply. No, I'm going to pose mode and pose, apply as rest pose. And it should get all of it, but just to make sure, I'll select everything. Okay, cool. All right, nice. So now I'm going to put this body back on here, just parent, except this time I'll just do armature deform. When I move this body, I'm still getting all of my good stuff, right? Still moving, legs are moving, everything. Oh, I don't like that, but I should be able to fix that uh, in the when I do the next part, when I actually put the weights on. So I want to match these hands up, right? So they're both using the same rig because I have a dummy version here. So now I'm going to do the matching thing that I did before, but this time I'm only focusing on the hands. So I'm going to go into pose mode, and I'm just not even really going to work on the hand itself because that's kind of where I want it to be, but I am going to work on moving the fingers. The thing with the fingers is that, I don't know, are these connected? These aren't connected. So, yeah, I'm going to, you know what? I'll try to use the hand matching. Since the hands were supposed to be matched up pretty well, I'm gonna go with that. So we're gonna go with, but I think what I'm gonna do, um, all right, now we'll do it. We'll do it the right way, or the way I normally would. So I'm gonna go ahead and just match up these points, right? Okay. And the thing that I'm focusing most with the hands is I want to get the hand knuckles kind of closer in the right position, and then the angle of the hand. So for like these two, I'm gonna hit Control I hide, and I'm just gonna try to use this to get my hands properly aligned. And my goal is to get the creases of the hands as close together as possible. And even though they're not the same length of pieces here, it doesn't matter because my goal is to just get these creases lined up, which they look like they are. So hit Alt H, Alt H. There we go. I don't think I. Okay, so if I go to the other side here, everything should look about the same, right? Everything is matched up the same. And like I said, snapping won't work correctly. Um, or it won't translate through the X mirror. So also it's important to know that with these rigs, the thumb, and in some other rigs too, the thumbs are connected to the last finger here. But I'm just going to go ahead and snap these pieces to, oh, actually, Control Z. I'm going to snap, I'm going to align, oops, I'm going to align this one. Not that one, this one. I'm going to line them up best I can. And I'm just going to do that for all of these real quick. You could be as precise as you want to way. You could do this method however way suits your needs. This is the way I've done it. This is the way I found to be the most repeatable and consistent for getting solid results. So it's the way that I do it. If you have some tool that does it automatically, that's amazing. Share it with the world so that everyone has it. I've used a bunch of tools and they come close, but they just don't really. I end up doing a lot of the refinement anyways, so I really don't use the tools as much. All right, so now that the base of the hands are lined up, it should match the same on the other side. So if I go over here, and we'll do view frame selected, everything is matched up on this side, and I can get to work on the fingers. So I'm going to just snap these two together because I don't think they're connected, and we'll just do the same thing. And actually, I'm going to snap all of these. Oops. Shift S, snap. They shouldn't really be moving very far at this point. They should just be very minor adjustments. But what this is going to do is just make sure that when I rotate them, they are exactly at the spot where I want to start rotating them. All right, perfect. Let's go to the other hand. Boom. Damn it. All right. Since that's a pain in the ass, I don't want it again. I'm gonna go ahead and save. Oh, cool. So now let's do this part. This part goes relatively quickly. You're just gonna do the exact same thing. There's not really a lot to explain about this. You're just gonna line them up. If you have a hard time seeing what you're working with, you can like hide the ones you're not working with. That's what I used to do. But I've done it so many times at this point that I don't have to. Um, and you're just gonna rotate around it, make sure it's all lined up, etc., etc. Yeah. All right, and then the end, I'm just trying to get the fingers set. All right, cool. So that finger's lined up. If you want to, you can just switch from hand to hand just to make sure everything is matching. So if I switch over here, I should have one lined up finger, which I do. Save. And you can be as accurate or inaccurate as you want to or care to be. The more time and accuracy you put, the better the joints will usually run up. It also depends a lot on how you set up the rig in the first place. So if you are consistent with your placement, then when you do this bone alignment thing, it should match almost exactly. And that goes for parts of the body as well. And you can see that the fingers are very close. And that's what we want. We want those fingers very close. We want those dips very close. That is the goal. That way when the hand wraps around everything, it looks good. They make their motions. Cause some of these fingers are freaking weird. You know what I'm saying? They be having some weird motions. We want to make sure they're good. All right, so that's those first two fingers. This is also probably like one of the most boring parts of this process for modding, just because it's not exciting. There's nothing really fun to it. Um, there's not a lot of guesswork either. It's just a matter of doing it. Sometimes the hands are very close we set up, so it's not a big deal. Other times it's issues. But basically, I'm just trying to make sure this line is in the center. And then my points right here are good. So people that use the stick version, I'm not really good. I'm not a fan of the stick version. I like this version. Now also, once you get your fingers lined up, if you see that your bones don't really exactly fit the shape that you're after, you are not locked into using this because we are going to be using a weight transfer anyways. So if you notice that things are a little bit off and you want to make some tweaks to it, just make sure the tweaks you're making are on uh, the custom mesh version. And if you think you moved the wrong bones, just go out, reselect your reference bones essentially, uh, and clear all poses, and then go back in and take a look at both of them together. If when you're done with this, things are a little bit out of shape, that's when I would suggest you can use some sculpting to get things back in order. I don't think I'm going to need that for this one. Maybe a little bit with the thumb. A lot of times the thumbs are off a bit. But that finger looks pretty good. But we'll see. So you see like there's a difference in the hand piece here. I usually like to manually fix that if I can. Okay, cool. So everything is looking pretty good. The meat of the hand is looking pretty good, but I don't like this thumb area. So, but before I do that, I want to go over to the other hand real quick and make sure that is looking good and something didn't get missed or whatever. Um, I'm just looking at the shape. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and save. Now the mirror only works if you're the armature rig that you're using. Now you can do a similar thing with a different rig if you want to, But the names need to be properly set up for symmetry, meaning the they have to relate. So you have point R and underscore R and R dot and L dot are the things that tell Blender what it is, and it has to be the exact same name plus the dot R or dot L or underscore R or underscore L for the poses to work and mirror correctly. All right, so but we're gonna go sculpt mode. We're gonna go ahead and make sure this is also set on mirror. Let's go to elastic is what I like to use. Usually set the strength down pretty low. Let's switch it to this. Okay, so I've got it on X-ray in the viewport shading mode, and I'm just going to kind of ease this hand over and kind of like rotate around a little bit to make sure I'm not like really jacking it up in a weird position. It doesn't need to be perfect. I just want it close so that it just looks better, you know? All right, cool. So essentially, this character is ready for weight transfer. The bones are posed up. The body is relatively good. Now, the body proportions do not have to be exact, but you do want to make sure the joint sets are right. So if you've got arms, you want the arm joints to be pretty close to where they're supposed to be. Um, Waist stuff, you don't matter. The size of your biceps doesn't really matter. Um, but the joints that you really want working really need to matter. The shoulder doesn't necessarily matter. But your head position you want to have somewhat close. Or you can just mainly adjust the head, depending on whatever you're doing. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and save this. And now I can essentially, so let's go ahead and I'm just gonna make a copy of this, right? So Shift D and I'm gonna call this mod. So I know that's what I'm using for. And I'm going to apply the pose. And I'm going to clear the parent. If I apply the pose and I clear the parent and the body changes shape or form, then I haven't set the transforms for my rig. And I want to make sure I do that ahead of time. Um, but I have already done that, so we're good. I'm going to go ahead and hit M to create a new collection, and we'll just call this one mod. Okay. So I can go ahead and hide my Yoruichi stuff because I don't need it. I can go ahead and well, first we're just going to go ahead and do a transfer. So let's go ahead and get these weights transferred. I'm at A, Control A, Alt Transfer, so we're good. I'm going to go ahead and hide this rig for a second. Now I've got the Tekken body and the Yoruichi body all set up, matching over top of each other. And what I'm going to do now is something. Oh, I'm going to transfer the weights. So I'm going to select the new female, this body, and make sure they're both selected. Go to weight paint. And I'm also going to just remove the weights from the Yoruichi, just so that there's no duplicates anywhere, no confusion. So click this first, click this second, weight paint, weight transfer. What is this? View built in, I don't know what that means. Okay, so I'm gonna switch this to nearest face interpolated and set this to a name. And now all of the bone stuff from the Tekken character will go over to this. Now, for whatever reason, I don't have a body stuff. Oh, also before I do that, I want to fix this. I do not know what's happening here, and I'll need to figure out. So I'm going to, with this section selected as it is, I'm going to go into sculpt mode. I'm going to change face set. So I'm going to say face set from edit. You'll see this changes colors. We're going to go into this mode here. All right. And I want to just pull this part up a little bit because it is obviously cutting into her skin and that does not look comfortable. So we are going to Go into the brush settings, go to advanced, and we're at auto masking. We're using face sets, and let's make sure we got mirror on. This way I can move this face set or this face set individually, right, without affecting the other one. All right, so you can see I can move it. If I don't have that on and I move it, everything moves together, right? So if you want everything to move together, make sure the mask is off. Topology is another one, so it'll try to guess what is correct. So in some cases, you don't necessarily need to use the mask. Like I could probably get away with that, um, but I like to use the mask. So that's what I'm doing. So move that. I don't like these normals here. So I can see what it looks like with the subdivision, just to see. And it does clear it up a little bit, but not exactly. Uh, let's see. I'm gonna hit Control I and hide. Okay, and so for whatever reason, I'm gonna go ahead and add. Let's see. Let's do this. Alt and average face area. And see, I just don't like these pull targets. And these pull targets are kind of like what's causing this um this change here. I don't know what's the best way to address it. Let me triangulate, see if that helps. And not really. Yeah, I don't like it. That's not really helping. Let's see, what if I add a bevel? Bevel sort of helps, but it's also not exactly what I'm looking for. And then sometimes the normal will get addressed by a normal map. And so it's not even really a big thing. Like that does look a lot cleaner right here, but I don't know what's done to the rest of my mesh. So let's take a look at it real quick. Let's see if there's anything that looks out of whack. And to be honest, it looks actually kind of good. So I threw a little bevel on there and it has cleaned things up. But the topology not being like anytime the topology has like holes or triangles, especially near the edges, you're gonna run into uh, these issues. But that does look pretty good. So I'm gonna keep these off for now because I don't want to have them being calculated. But before I export, I'll go ahead and set that. So we'll go ahead and file save. Nice. All right, so that's looking good. I'm gonna redo. Oh wait, hold up. I want to look at our neck real quick. It looks like that doesn't really look pretty, right? I kind of want to make that look better. So let's go into here. We'll go into sculpt mode, and I got to try to figure out what I want to do. So I think I'm going to. All right, so I'm going to smooth this area a little bit, or at least try to. Let me hit save in case it's a complete wreck. We're turning strength down a good bit. Turn off pressure sensitive. And we're just going to try to smooth this a little bit. Kind of reshape it. Okay, and so you can kind of see how, because I'm on the mask portion of it, it's not letting me move everything together, but I really want to. So in this case, I'm gonna change that. So the neck was looking all crazy. I want to kind of adjust it a bit. I am spawning back to 1. And now I'm just gonna check out a couple other spots. So that looks okay, but I want. Okay, that's all looking pretty good. But her hair looks all jacked up. I don't know why her hair looks jacked up right there. All right, cool. So we're in a good spot. I've got the weights on. I need some bones. I don't have any bones just laying around as far as I know. So I'm just gonna go grab some real quick. Launchers from F model. And I try to just load game files. And so I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna put this on a common character. So, and I don't really have any physics to add to this. So that's why I'll use a common build for this one. So I'm just gonna find any common build. I can use any character. Um, like I play Lydia every once in a while, so I forgot her name already. What is her name? Lydia. I totally forgot what her thing is. All right, well, this is Susanna, so it doesn't matter. So let's go to meshes. So these are all MSL only, so that's not gonna help me. Let's go into this one, meshes, MSL only, that's not gonna help me. Street, MSL, all right, so all of our stuff is MSL only, that's not gonna help me at all. So cat is not the answer. What is Lydia's name? Dog, GP, GOT, GRF, HMS, JL, KGR, that's Anna. I don't remember. That's wild. All right, let's look at Anna. Anna full body. Let's see, 1P meshes. Okay, so she has a 1P and a 1P MSL. So that's what I want. So I'm going to save this model. And I'm going to save this model. Now, if you're using my version, my base mesh that I use here includes the weights for the PRP and the MSL rig. Why does it have a zipper in it? Okay, but yeah, it has MSL, the muscle, and the PRP weights. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. All right, cool. So where are we at? Where are we at? So I'm waiting for this. Cool, that did that thing. PRP, nice. Let's do this here. Uh, I, oh my goodness, dude! I just want to select the whole section. You mother. Copy. All right, cool. All right, so let's do our PSK importer. I'm using 3.6. I don't know what else everyone else is using. There's 4. I have 4.2 also, but I don't have any stuff built for it, so I'm not using it. All right, so I'm going to grab both of these, and I'm going to grab the skeleton only, and I'm going to make sure scale down is not set, and import. Boom, I got two skeletons. Very nice. I'm going to throw both of these into the mod folder, because that's what I want. And now I'm going to hit a Control A all transforms, just so everything works. And let's go ahead and approach this to 1. But I'm going to rename these real quick to T8 MSO. Copy, and I'll rename this one to T8 therapy. All right, nice. Aye. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hide this one. We're going to go ahead and parent to that one, armature deform. So now if I move it around, it should move. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Whoop, whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Very nice. And also, if I go ahead and clear this parent, and then I parent it to this one, and do the same thing, we've got movement. All right, very, very nice. All right, but we're gonna go ahead and clear the parent just because I like to keep them separate. So we'll go ahead and save. So it's already fully rigged for getting it into Tekken. But I like to get everything done as much as possible while I'm in here, and I think that is very possible to do. So the next part after getting all the rigging done, making sure it works, blah blah blah. I can go ahead and hide all this stuff, all this stuff, whatever. Is to make sure I've got my materials set. And I'm gonna split this into just 2 materials because I'm lazy for now, and that's just the way I want to do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and use L to select these areas. L, and it's by seam, so I'm gonna go ahead and hide these just because it'll make it easier to select the rest of this stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on X-ray. I can go ahead and turn this back to global selection, and I'm gonna hit C for my like little circle, select whatever, and I'm just gonna select everything here. I'm gonna hit Control L and then hit H to hide to see that it hid. If it did hide like it's supposed to, I will go ahead and separate the selection. All of my weights are already set, so I don't need to worry about any of that. I'm not going to be moving anything around, so I'm not worried about any of that. So I'm going to make sure this is named, we'll go ahead. I can say mod if I want to, and this will be body mod. Nice. Okay, so let's take a look at what we're working with. So we've got a bunch of materials. I'm going to hit remove unused slots, so that way only the materials that I need are going to be here, and I only have to work with those. Now XPS is its own little beast, so let's go ahead and take a look at the XPS shader. So the way they have their setup, they got a UV to a mapping node to a diffuse texture to this unique XPS shader, right? And then it shoots out stuff. So what I want to do is I want to make sure I can attach it to a principal BSDF shader, right? Yes, and I want it repeatable. So in this case, I'm just going to take and create some node additions here, right? So I'm going to take this base color. I want that, so I'm going to make that output. We'll name it base color. All right, so I want, so metallic is now being set within here, which is fine. They got roughness, so let's bring roughness out. Roughness. They've got emission, which I really don't care about, but I'm going to grab this emission in, pull it out. It's probably nothing, to be honest. Specular is set to 0.5, so I'm not really messing with that. It's just default. But I'll go ahead and make a specular node just so that we have one. And I like them to be in order too, so I'm gonna actually move this one down, or actually this one is in the right spot. We'll do this. I'm gonna make a metallic as well. Metallic. And I'm just gonna create a value node. So I'm gonna Shift A, search. I'm gonna hit S to search and make a value node. And I'm just gonna put generic value here. So we'll make metallic that. And I hit Control D to make a duplicate, and we'll make this one at 0.5. And I'll explain why I did that in just a second. All right, and then we have our generated normal node. So we'll grab that, plug that here. And if there was an oh, there's an alpha, so we'll grab the alpha and we'll plug that in as well. We'll make sure the alpha is set. Okay, that should cover all the stuff that I want to send out. I don't really care about this shader node. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the up arrow. So now I have this set up here. And I'm going to hit Shift A, separate, not separate, we'll make a principled BSDF. And I'm just going to hook all this stuff up. And I'm doing this because I have a little plugin that I use that I made. And it takes care of setting all of my maps up the way I want to for Tekken 8. And it makes this process a little bit easier. So it takes a little bit of setup, but in my opinion, it is all worth it. Okay. Cool. So then I'll plug this into Surface. And now I'm set to go, at least for this particular material. So let's hit, I hit Control Spacebar to isolate this window. Oh no. Alright. Okay, so for this hair material up here, which I don't even know why there's hair on this body. Remove, unused. Like, now I'm curious, what is hair? So Alt H. Let's hit. Wait, where's my select options? What? Are my windows all like locked or something? Hold on, let me see. Am I in? Oh, I'm in Eevee. Ah, there we go. Okay, so select. So I'm selecting it, and there's some teeny tiny piece down here. Let's see. View frame selected. View frame. All right, I don't even know. I'm gonna hit Alt H and see if I hit select skin here. But if I hit that here, nothing's happening. Maybe it's like a single vertex somewhere. Okay, I don't know where it is. So I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm gonna go to mesh, clean up, delete loose. Nothing got deleted. Edit mode, select. I have no idea what that could be. Okay, I guess there was nothing, so that's cool, and that also sucks. Oh, but also the thing to notice is when you make a change to a node group, especially when it's shared, it makes it across the board. So all of these are also changed. All right, nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit principal BSDF, and I'm going to go ahead and hook these back up. Normal. Bam. Right? And these should all be the same. So I should be able to essentially say copy, right? And then I can go to this one and I can just grab all of this and just yeet it out of here. Like it may or may not. I mean, it might be up to what the heck? Copy. Hey, copy. There we go. So I'm gonna copy it and then I'm just gonna plug this in the way it's supposed to be to diffuse. And I think that's it. They're not even anything plugged into alpha or any other stuff. I'll do the same thing here. Control P. Oops. Control Z. I don't want to get rid of my texture. It in. Here we go. Nice. I'm gonna do the same thing for the hair or the head. Remove unused. This one has a bunch more pieces to it. So one of the things that I'm looking for, I hate that they're all spread out like that, is if there's any like weird stuff. Like this one's already set, so I don't have to worry about it. But there's all using the same basic setup. Okay, so this one is a little bit different because it's using the alpha. So I gotta make sure that when I uh, replace this, that I'm hooking up the alpha. Oops. All right. So the fuse, and this one will go into the alpha. And you can do this all kinds of ways if you want to. If you want to make a material just like they have set up, feel free to do that as well. I don't. So this is why I do this. Also, this is a one-time setup situation. And I don't mind doing stuff in the beginning that's going to make things easier in the long run. I don't work with XPS myself, besides doing it, working with the models with the mods, but I need to infiltrate the community to see if that shader is like a universal shader. Like I've seen it like all the time, but I don't know if it's out of coincidence. I don't know if it's out of preference or if it's universal. Because I want to make a quick uh, uh, plugin or something like that that will just do what I'm doing right now, so that I don't have to. Hey, man. Ugh, get over there. Mm. And how you set up materials is always completely up to you, of course. This is just the way I do it. All right. So I think that should cover everything. All right, we'll go ahead and save. All right, cool. So at this point, we've got everything basically rigged. Um, we've got my XPS shader switched over, and now one of the things I want to do is adjust the UVs, right? So that way I'm not dealing with however many materials are on here, right? This one isn't so bad. It's only three materials, but why? Do I need that? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Also, I can look to see if, let's see, why does this, like, is this just my, like, I don't under, there's like a view issue or something. Yeah, I don't want us doing it. So one of the things you can look for is like, is there a way to make like a mask based on these materials? Maybe. I got metals here. Select. Got skin here. Cool. Right. So I can make masks if I want to. So for example, um, oh, but first I want to get the UV set. So let's do that. So there's two UVs on here for some reason. I don't know what they're for. Doesn't look like they're using them. Looks like I have this. So I'm going to create a new one and I'm going to call it bake. And this is the total set of UVs. And it looks like, for the most part, like I really don't need to do anything. Like everything's here. Like I'm not missing anything, right? So if I hit select here, I've got everything. If I hit select these, I've got the little metal parts. And if I've got this one, hit select, I got the rest of it. So I don't really need to do any new UV stuff, but I'm just gonna call it bake for now, just because. And I just want this all to be on one. So I'm going to use my little tool that's available on my GitHub. I'm going to use a channel packer, right? Apply channel packer. And I'm just going to use a basic RMA. We'll use a character texture material instance. So I hit OK. And what that's going to do is going to change this to set up all of the materials on here are going to be connected so that I can utilize the add-on text tools to do this bake. All right, cool. And I'm not going to bake a color. I'm baking a mission. So everything gets fed to the emission in this process. And we'll just keep it at 2K. I don't need to make it 4K for any real reason right now. And then I'll just bake it. Bake it, bake it, bake it, bake it. And it's essentially the same process for the guys. So we're going to go ahead and save. And we'll call this textures. Bam. And we'll just call it TCH CF RT. If I'm gonna go with the gaming setup, it's texture, character, then what category it is. So this is gonna be generic female. And this is BDF for body, full body. And then we'll call it Yoruichi. And it's like, what is this one? I'll call it 01. And it's gonna be an RMA file. If I was going to use a cloth texture, I would use MRA. But we'll do OBD. Now, I can make a dirt texture, which I think I will do later. So I'll do this mod, make sure it's done, get the basic setup, get in the game, and then the next time I stream, we'll add some advanced texturing, we'll add some dirt mask to it. Um, Maybe I'll just add some cloth physics or something to it as well. 1 second. All right, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and bake this as it is for right now. Now, some people will use Photoshop to do this. Go ahead, GIMP, whatever. You can easily do that. I like to do it here. It's only taking a long time right now because I got a bunch of things running in the background. Um, but I could also change the resolution if I wanted to. Now it's all kind of baking to this emission texture. This is all kind of like replacing itself. So when you save, you got to make sure you change the names, or else you'll accidentally like save over it, which isn't too hard. Isn't an issue because this is non-destructive. So even though you see some changes over here, it looks like the wiring's all jacked up. If I hit this clear bake nodes, it will go ahead and put everything back. Now the only downfall right now is that it doesn't necessarily put them back in the right positions that you had them, depending on what you did. If you have a complex material and you use this, it will most likely not go back into the exact same arrangement. So I haven't figured out how to set that up yet. Um, then we got color. So I really don't need a color one. And the reason I don't need a color one is because this is just working, right? So let's go ahead and I'm just gonna open up, I guess, the original. I don't know where the original one is. Where did I get it from? You know what? I am just gonna bake one because I don't feel like looking for it. So we'll go with color. Okay. And then just bake. But if you know where since I'm not really changing the UV at all, or not the UV, but the texture, really all that much for the color, or at all, I might as well, I could just use the one that's already coming with it. Since all of these materials essentially use the same texture. See? Another thing I can do is if I don't want these, so you see the spots in this black parts is because there's no other portion of that texture. If for whatever reason I wanted to keep it as it normally would be set up, I can also go mesh plane, make it a little bit bigger, and I could grab one of the textures they're using. So let's say skin. So I can look for the skin one and load that. And if I look at that, it also reveals that no, they aren't all the same. So I've got just using two different textures. So it's good that I just kept it like this. Nice. All right. Well, that's her. Let's go ahead and hit the clear, and you'll see that my stuff goes back to normal. And we'll go ahead and save it. Now, the one thing I do want before I leave her is I want a normal map. And I'll go ahead. Ooh, ah, man, that sucks. So I might be able to go back and grab that texture, but I kind of jumped past it real quick. I don't think I saved it. All right, this normal map isn't really going to have much to it because I'm not really adding much of a normal map to it. There's not much of a normal calculation going on in this one. But if you did have a normal map, then that's where we're good. Also think it's good to have a normal map in general. I think there's a little baby normal map on here. But let's go back to emission. Okay, cool. Grab this. Save as. And I'm going to save it as PC because It's a color. It's like a pattern, essentially. I'm not going to be making this colorable. It's just going to be as it is for a simple mod. Maybe I'll make it colorable in the next one. All right, cool. That's it. So that's my color stuff. I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing with the head. Um, cool. We'll just do color first this time, I guess. And then bake. Oh, actually, this one might be a little bit crazier. So I didn't check the UVs for this one. So let's see what it looks like. It should look like a hot mess, like, or not. I don't know. We'll see. Because I haven't checked ahead of time. But usually I'm gonna have UVs on top of UVs, and I got this garbage mess that I can't really use for anything. So I want to hit A. You see all the different UVs are all over the place. So we don't want to change the main UV, so we'll make a new UV. Let's call this one bake as well. And there's a couple of things you can do. So what I like to do is go in and my UV options, I'm going to just pin everything, right? And then I'm going to go to select everything, and we're going to go to pack islands. And I don't want to scale or rotate for right now. I'll just say okay and see what it does. Okay, and so it breaks all the pieces up. Some of these pieces are like little weird pieces. Some of them are good. For the most part, it does a pretty solid job. But you can say like, "Ooh, do I want to do that or not?" You can make another UV and test that out. Another thing that you might want to do, and sometimes I'll do, especially with hair, is I really don't want to get too crazy with hair because um, of how it's set. So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna see if there's like a hair texture or something. So we got hair, and I don't know why this section keeps doing this. Like, what is happening? All right, whatever. So if I hit select hair, I can see that the hair is like, look at this. These are all the UVs for the hair. Like it's all janky. Let's go ahead and okay, look. Okay, so here's the UVs for the hair, right? All right, that's kind of cool. Like I like that. So I'm gonna actually separate the hair, right? So let's go ahead and just separate the hair. Oops. We'll go here and we'll separate selection. Okay, so let's take the hair out of the equation. So we just have her hair by itself right here, and then we have her face. So here's ball Yoruichi in her hair, or our piece. She didn't have a full head. All right, so let's go into edit mode now and take a look at this one. And if we look here, we've got the UVs, like whatever. And we don't want overlaps. The idea is we just don't want overlaps. So I'm going to go ahead and pack these islands. All right, cool. And now we've got this. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is just making a hair material on its own. It's just going to be a little bit easier for me. And if I want to color it later or something, that's fine. So we're going to just do it that way. So I've got this. I've kind of expanded it out to get a little bit more pixel density. And I also don't want all of these materials to work with. So this is, but I think I messed it up, as you can see, because look, I applied it to the wrong one. So I need to hit Control Z and hopefully I can get back. Nice. So let's go. I'm going to go ahead and, oops, I'm going to yeet bake out. We're going to make a new one based on UV1. Hit A. I'm going to hit, we're going to hit average island scale. Ooh, I'm not going to hit average island scale. I'm going to hit pack islands. And we're just going to pack them. There we go. Nice. And now I'm just gonna do the same bake process with the face stuff. All right, so file save, and it's already set the color. And it's gonna bake to whatever set is active. So this one is the visible one, and this is the one that's active. So sometimes they're the same, but sometimes you have the render version and the active version. It will bake to the active. And if you've seen any of my other streams, whenever I am done with this process, I will switch it over and call them. I'll add an OM for one material just to let myself know that it's a combined setup. So I'm gonna grab this and I'm just gonna change this to FAC because it's for her face. And we'll go ahead and do the same thing. And now I don't really see a reason to do, like, there's no alpha on any of these, or at least none that I'm able to tell. Um, but I'll find out for sure. Oh, one of these has alpha. I don't remember which one it is. But I don't know what is actually alpha. But this is essentially like the least amount of effort I'm putting towards any mod that I've ever done. Like, rig it, grab the colors, put it in the game. And I haven't really run into any major problems, so that's also a super plus. Um, what am I doing? The face. I'll do this. So I say that, and hopefully I don't regret saying that. All right, cool. And let's just there. Up. Ah. All right, I can clear that. She goes back to normal. Let's go into here also and make sure I'm removing anything that's not needed, which is the hair. And this one, I'm going to remove anything that's not needed, which is everything except for the hair. Okay, so I'm going to go into edit mode. And it has this bake piece here, which I think covers everything on that one. So I'm going to delete this bake real quick and then make a new one based on this and call it bake. And this is just to keep the UV When they do layer on each other, they'll be correct. And what I can also do is, since this is going to be its own thing, I can probably just repack it as well. Pack islands. And it's not as clean, so to speak. Let's see, let's go to UV. Fill. Right, I can do it like that. I can use this one, this one. What yeah, just try to get more density on here. It's completely up to you on how you want to do it. All right, so let's go. We'll start farming. And so if you're also just looking to get your mods and want to get your mod game better, you could go ahead and try to like recreate the stuff that's already on here. Like so one of the things that I think I'm going to do is use this as my base essentially. This is hair. All right, and then I'll just rebuild this outfit, which is a very simple outfit, but I could have more control over this stuff. Oh, also, I think I might redo my normals. Um, or not. I'm not sure. We'll see. I know I want to switch that other. I want to switch this stuff on. But we'll see. Now, if you know that you're not going to use like an opacity or dirt map, you can just use a red map. That's going to make your opacity, and you have no dirt, and you have um, no B, whatever the B is. So that is an option that is available to you. Same thing goes for um, specular. There is a default specular. There's a default RMA. There's a default TSE, I believe. In the game. Wait, what the fuck? What's on that? What is those red letters? Asset blend path? Oh, I don't know. So you can do that as well. Let's say you just want to have the color used. You're good. I will suggest that you do change those though. Don't leave them default, or you'll have weird coloring going on with your stuff that doesn't match your UVs. You'll be like, "What? Why is this crazy?" I was like, "Well, you left trash in the can. That's why." What am I doing? I want to do color. Now, if you're doing coloring in Substance Painter, you can set it up so that it will channel pack your stuff for you. And so you can put the roughness in the red channel, the metallic in the green channel, and any AO in the blue channel, which is really cool. So that's really good if you're using Substance Painter. I just don't always like using the Substance Painter for, I don't know, whatever reason. All right, then we'll just do normal. And all of my texture stuff is done. Now, if I want to make edits to any of this stuff, I can do that. I'm just not going to do it right now. I can make overall edits or I can make mask edits. I think that's what I'm going to go through in the next video for this character. But this is going to be built and designed for um, every character, just a generic handles it for common items, and there should be like no issues for us to do it as well. Okay. Now I'm using a slightly older version of the engine for my characters, just because I choose to. But let's go ahead, and I think I might just stop here for now. So that'll be the end of this video, I think, or at least this stream for right now, because I gotta go do some stuff. But basically, over this video, we got a character in the game. We sized it up, we scaled it, we positioned it. I set up what I call a posing rig for it. Um, Ran into a quick snafu where the stuff didn't work right. We had to make a quick change. So I went through, I think, two of the options that I would normally go through if I'm not getting my automatic weights working. There's still another two options I could check, but I didn't have to go there for this one, so that's good. Um, we looked at the two ways I typically handle posing, right? The characters, whether it's just raw bone to bone setups, or am I going to use a visual version? Visual can be a little bit faster. It's usually a lot faster. It depends. Um, Hands, I usually always go with a pose match option, just to make it cleaner and easier to work with. Um, we're using my female base asset, which is available on my GitHub in the code section, I believe. Um, and those, I don't know if I have Anna in that one, so Anna might not be included in the shape keys and whatever, but it's got a common PRP, whatever. Uh, Take a look at it, check it out. Um, yeah, we went over consolidating some materials. Oh, the last thing I'm gonna do is gonna make these export ready, I guess. Um, so what I mean by that is I'm gonna go ahead and hit Shift D to duplicate this. I'm gonna rename it and call it OM, right? Now I'm gonna hide this one. Okay, so this one, my OM, I've got three materials. I'm only gonna use one. So I'm gonna create a new material. I'm gonna call it MI. I like to name things close to the game, so MIBDF, Yoruichi, 01, OM. All right, nice. So we got our material. It's blank. I'm gonna hit Shift A, hit S to search, type in image, and hook that up. Boop. Right. And now I'm gonna go into my textures, and I'm gonna go find my body texture. We're gonna grab it for color, and we'll plug it in. And there we go. It's beautiful. Works. No, it doesn't, because it's the wrong one. So we're gonna go ahead and change that to this and see how it works. And it looks like it's running into an issue. And so I need to now go back, find out what that issue is, because this shouldn't be happening. Right? Like, what is happening here? Like, why is it doing that? So what I need to look at is see, are there any overlaps going on that I missed? And it looks like I do have some overlaps. So that's what I want to avoid. So that's where I kind of messed up. And is this the overlap? How did I miss that overlap? Oh, look, see, we've got this going on here. So I want to go ahead and fix that. So most of it worked out just fine, right? It all kind of matches up, but a couple of parts are overlapping and not looking good. So we need to fix that. So to fix it, I just go back into this one, right? Now, I can't, this one has a UV that I can't use. So I'm just going to eat it, delete. So we'll go back to this one. Go back in here, edit, right? And you see there's no issues here. So let's go into bake. And in bake, I'm going to go ahead and now I have to bake all of those again. So it's a good idea to bake say the color texture first, and if it works, then go back in and bake the rest of them. It's probably like a words of wisdom, I guess, on that one. I'm gonna switch this down to average island scale, see if it does anything. major, not really. Um, Let me hit pin and average scale. That's about what we like to do. And then we'll go ahead and pack it. And I'll let it rotate it, but I don't want it to scale. All right, and then I'm just going to use this option to fill up the whole thing. And so these things are usually failed issues. I don't like those. So I'm going to hit Control A and do that. So there's a bunch of options that we can do, right? So look, that is ugly. We do not want that. We want no overlaps. So I'm going to look for overlaps real quick. And it looks like I've got a bunch. So some of these are overlaps within this. So I'm going to hit A. Now let's unpin stuff real quick. Let's take a look at what we're working with. Why is this not allowing me to move it? All right, so I'm gonna see if I can. I'm gonna turn this on, which is sync mode. I hit L, and that's the whole leg right there. Cool. So another thing, here's another way that we can do this to kind of get everything right of what I've done in the past. So is I'll grab a section. So this is cloth, right? And cloth is, what is this? I'm gonna hit Control I and hide. I want to figure out what the hell this is. What is this? Control L. I'm looking it up and I'm like, where is it? What is it? It's a piece of hair. Okay. That's I don't know why that's here. If I hide it, what happens? Oh, it's like it's wrong. Shouldn't be there. So I'm going to separate it. Oh wait, no, that's not right. I'm not gonna separate it. I need it to be. Oh no, I do need to separate it because it doesn't belong here. Separate selection. So let's get rid of that because I don't want it there. And I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna reattach it to that one. Join. All right. And this one needs to be like that, but then I can get rid of this. There we go. All right, nice. Um, okay, let's go back here. So let's go into edit mode. And we've got cloth. Let's go to we're on our bake texture piece. And I'm gonna go ahead and pack these islands. Okay. And they're all packed in a little corner for some reason. I don't know why. Let's go ahead and pack islands, scale and rotate, whatever. Okay, so that's gonna give me cloth. I'm gonna move this over to -1. Nice. Let's go ahead. H. Let's take a look at metal. Okay, so metal is just a bunch of little shit, so we can just set it wherever. All right, and then we've got skin. Skin, we can go ahead and pack those islands. Okay. All right. And now I'm gonna make another one real quick just to see if this will all pack together very nicely. And the thing I'm looking for is no overlaps. So I can turn this off. And I do have some overlaps, and I'm not sure why. I think it's within like this piece right here. I'm getting an overlap. Um, okay, and these are internal pieces right here. So this one and this one. So I'm gonna hit Control I to hide. Oops. Oops. All right, whatever. Hey, stop it. All right, so let's do this, and then Control I and hide. So I've got these places right here. Um, I'm gonna add a seam so that they'll break and not be this weird loopy thing. All right, so I'm just gonna add a seam to them real quick, and UV unwrap. Now I've got circles. We're good to go. And I'm gonna hit select loop, boundary loops, mark, seam. I might be able to get away with not doing this. Let's see, clear seam. There we go. All right, I'd rather do it like that. Okay, I will have to repack. Oh, and let's use average island scale. Okay, so let's see what else am I running into overlaps. This might be causing an overlap here, but I don't know. Sure, let's take a look. Looks like it is. I am not sure what's going on with the legs, to be honest. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Well, let's look at the hands. Where is the overlap? A lot of times it's like the finger pieces. The top parts look good. But I only see, oh no, I see two hands. That's the only thing that kind of sucks is it doesn't tell me exactly where the overlap is occurring. Where is the overlap? Doesn't look like it's there. This one, I'm pretty sure. I think I'm just gonna not worry about the hand overlap, but these overlaps bug me. I think I can solve this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark a seam there. And we'll do one here. And that should fix that. Okay, that should be good. Oh, another thing that you can do is if you have parts of your UV that you really don't care about, you don't want colored, you can just move them off of your UV um, print section. But in most cases, it's not necessary. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and set that to color. Let's call this one. I'm gonna delete that one. Call this one fake. So I could just exactly what the issue was and just move the UVs, but I just wanted to get an overall cleaner UV. Um, so it'll take a little bit of time. Like I said, modding for the most part is going to be like how much quality do you want to put into it? You don't. How much quality? Whatever. All right, so there's our new one. All the stuff over here. Go image, save as. Now I'm just going to save over top of this one. Go ahead and clear this for now. All right, so now let's test to see if that would work. So we'll hit Shift D, switch this, call this one OM. I'm gonna go ahead and hide that. We'll go ahead and yeet all of this. I've already created the material base, so I'm just gonna grab that. Of course, it doesn't work, but we're gonna go ahead and switch to this one. And now it does work, right? And I replaced that map, so that's why this is showing with the same map. Okay, but I do need to go ahead and update the rest of the stuff. But I can go ahead and get rid of, ooh, too many. Can get rid of those. So now I have one UV and one material for this, and we're good to go. I need to see if I made any similar mistakes here. So we'll do that. Shift D. Switch it to hide the head. Neat. I'm gonna grab this one, but I'm gonna hit this button to make it unique and keep it at the OM, but I'm gonna change this to base. All right, now it's gonna have the same texture as that one because I haven't changed it yet, but I made it unique. If I didn't make it unique, then I would have to, it would, whatever I change is gonna change on both. But let's find a face. We'll add the face. The face looks crazy. Let's switch to bake view. Okay, and so we've got another issue with this eye. This eye is not working the way it's supposed to. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and fix that. But I have to run to the store, so I will not be able to do that right now. So I'm gonna delete that. We'll bring that back, and when I come back to this, we'll have to make an adjustment. So let's go ahead and save.